This is our rally on the river tonight. We have many of our candidates in our upcoming elections here to speak to you tonight. We're awfully glad that you've come around here to listen to them, because this is the cornerstone of our democracy here in this country. As a military veteran, it is probably the most important principle that we fought for, the most important right that all of our armed services are fighting for y'all, both here and abroad, is the right to vote, a right to choose your representation. It is something that we should never, ever take for granted. And these elections should never be about popularity. They should be about the issues. They should be about what these people stand for. And tonight, we have many of these candidates that are here that are going to tell you exactly who they are and what they stand for. And that's what your vote should always be based off of. At this time, we're going to lead things off with a prayer. We're going to have our County Mayor, Michael Nesbitt, come and lead us in prayer.
Let us pray, please. Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you tonight. First of all, Lord, we ask that you forgive us where that we fail you, and Lord, we just pray that you forgive us. We ask, Lord, as we have humbly bowed before your throne tonight, we're thankful for the blessings of Smith County and the surrounding areas. I thank you today, the beautiful country that you've given us to live in, the beautiful, wonderful people that live here, and those that are interested in running for these offices, Lord. It's just such a blessing that many people are interested enough in their communities, Lord, that they're willing to run for office. They're willing to accept victory or accept defeat, Lord, and they are willing to serve in the capacity that they are running for. We thank you, Lord, for those that have served our nation. As Brother Jim said, we thank you for each and every one of them fighting for our nation, fighting for the freedoms, that we could bow our heads before you tonight and not even worry about anyone saying anything about it. Lord, we're thankful for that. But most of all, we're thankful for your Son, Jesus Christ. He is the Savior of the world, and thankful to call him mine, Lord. And I just thank you for each and every one that's here tonight. Ask that you bless each candidate as they speak. Ask, Lord, you clear their, just help them with their hearts and their mind, and just, Lord, that all the nerves go aside, and that they tell us where they stand on things, and that it would help us better decide what we need to do, Lord. And we ask all this in the blessed name of Jesus. Amen.
All right, all the candidates have been divided into their categories. Each candidate, with the exception of the first one, which is running for governor, each of them will have up to 3 minutes to speak. There are ground rules. We ask that there is no mudslinging, that you stick to yourself and your issues tonight. We want to make this as civil as possible, okay? And with that, I'll introduce to you our first candidate that's going to be speaking tonight, our gubernatorial candidate, Mr. Bill Lee.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Y'all, this is a great night. This is a great way to spend 4th of July. And my wife, Maria, who's right here, we're proud to be here. And, you know, I grew up in rural Tennessee, still live there. We live on a cattle farm. I raise Hereford cattle, and I've been in the ag industry all my life. And so coming to this kind of fair just feels very much at home to me. I showed livestock in the county fair all my life growing up. So proud to be here this evening. I'll tell you 3 minutes about me. I am a cattle farmer. I am committed to the future of agriculture in the state of Tennessee. Not a lot of candidates talk about that. It's a critically important part of my life, and I think it's a part of the future of Tennessee. It's 13% of our economy. I'm a businessman too. I run a company called Lee Company. We're in the heating and air conditioning, plumbing, and electrical business. So it's hot out here, but we're happy at Lee Company about that. I run a company that employs 1,200 skilled tradespeople. I have a master plumber's license myself, and I employ 1,200 plumbers, pipe fitters, welders, electricians. I deeply believe that skilled trades is a critically important part of the future of this state, and we've ignored vocational training in our public school systems for way too long. And when I'm governor, high school is going to look different, especially for the 4 out of 10 kids that don't go to college. So I'm a businessman and a farmer, and I'm a man whose faith in Christ is the most important thing in my life, and that will never change. And I went through a terrible tragedy years ago that God walked through with me in a powerful way, changed my heart about how I was going to spend the rest of my life. Got involved with kids in the inner city that led to passion around education. mentored a man out of prison for many years that led to a passion for public safety, and finally caused me to pray about serving you and your children and your grandchildren. So I'm a complete outsider who's never run for office and never worked for the government, but I have a life of executive leadership, and I'm pursuing the highest level of the executive branch of government in this state of Tennessee. And I believe this about leadership. I think just in a few days, you're going to pick the governor of this state. It's going to change the future of Tennessee for a long time. I think it's really important that you look at a man's life and what he's done in his private life and bring that to bear in public service. And I do believe that there's strength in being an outsider, to not have years of donors and people that you're beholden to and years of relationships with lobbyists. Being an outsider has real strength to lead. And the most powerful form of leadership is servant leadership. I would be honored to serve you and your grandchildren and your children and the future of Tennessee. I'd be honored to serve you as we make Tennessee not only a better place for 6.5 million people to live, but make Tennessee be a leader in America. And Lord knows America needs some states to lead, and we can do that with the right leadership. I'd be honored to be your governor. I'd be honored to have your vote. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you.
It's Bill Lee, ladies and gentlemen. Our County Fair volunteers are preparing the watermelon right now. You'll be ready to be served here in just a second. All right, our first category is for District 3 School Board. This is New Middleton, and we drew the names a moment ago off to the side. Marty McCaleb will be first to speak.
Well, let me say it's an honor to follow the governor of the state here that's campaigned. A little bit about myself. Like Mr. Lee, I'm self-employed. I live on the family farm there. Lived in Smith County 54 of my 54 years here, and went through the public school system, and real honored with that. I chose just 12 years of school. It took me enough 12 years to realize that school wasn't for me, but I'm self-employed in a trucking company, and we're in dire needs of truck drivers, mechanics, skilled laborers, as Mr. Lee said. And I agree with him. We need to look at some different vocational skills for young people that's coming up. That you know, I had a daddy that taught me real good work ethics, and I worked last night. Had a guy who wanted to be off with his family, and me and Stephanie, my wife, she was all right with that. So I drove last night, got to go to Oklahoma City in the morning. So I'm not bragging on myself, but I'm not scared of hard work. And I like to interact with people, and we got some good people in my district. I went out last night campaigning and met some people I hadn't seen since high school. The Baker family behind me over there up on Denny's branch there, I busted their 4th of July party, but as being neighbors and friends, I got me a bowl of ice cream out of it. So we got some good people up there, and I actually graduated with a young man, Chris Scudders, and he lives in Kentucky, and where I'm leading at this, we've got people in our school districts that's been big success in life, and he's a college ag professor at Western Kentucky, and I haven't probably seen him but once since I graduated. And even up there last night where I was at, some neighbors beside the Baker family, that 2 of their kids that went through West Point. Now I'm gonna tell you, that's a big honor too. I believe in the military. I believe in their kids given a chance to serve back to this country, and I'm real honored to run for this. I've been in one office here, and that was the Smith County Election Commission a couple of years ago, and it was an honor to serve on that. And if you ask me if I really got time to be school board and all, the truth is no, but I'm going to take time. You know, God's blessed me back, and I'm going to give back to my community if y'all give me a chance to be elected. And I like what a narrator said, ain't going to be slinging no mud. Well, there ain't none here up here. It's so dry. But Jeremy Johnson, he'll be following me, and don't know much about Jeremy, but hey, you got yours between me and him, and the most important thing is come out and vote and give me and him a chance to lead our schools in another direction. I appreciate your time. Thank you. God bless you.
Marty McCaleb, ladies and gentlemen. Next up, Jeremy Johnson, also for District 3 School Board out of New Middleton.
Thank you, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I want to first off say I really appreciate everybody coming out and bearing this heat to listen to the people that are running for office speak. It's hot, and I know it is, but I really appreciate everybody coming out. Most importantly, I want to say that I appreciate my wife, Kelly, back there, standing beside me through this decision to run for school board. Just a little bit about myself. We have two school-aged children. Our oldest daughter, Camry, she'll be in 5th grade at Gornsville this year. And then May, of course, she just turned 2, so she's going to be looking to go into the New Middleton School here in just a couple of more years. So, you know, just like I told everybody, we have a vested interest in the school board for the next 16 years. You know, we're going to have a child there. We're going to be involved with coaching and fundraising and everything that we can do. So, you know, we're vested for the next 17 years here in the Smith County school system. A little bit about my occupation. I'm a detective for the Lebanon Police Department. I've been with the Lebanon Police Department for 15 years, and for the last 5 years, worked as a general detective. And one of the key things as far as my job is each day I go out and I try to find the person who has the most information, who is an expert witness to whatever it is that I'm looking at or investigating. And if given the opportunity to be your District 3 school board member, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to reach out to every person who has a impact or has any kind of interaction with the school board. And that's going to start at the county mayor, and it's going to work its way all the way down. And what I'm going to propose is that sometime late in September, we're going to have us a homemade ice cream social. And I'm going to invite the people, the administrators and the teachers, so that way we can start putting names with faces and understand what they really need. Another type of person that I really want to be there is the parents in Smith County who have children that have started on to the next level of their life, whether they went to college or a trade school, or whether they went straight out into the workforce, because I need to understand from those parents what their children needed to give them the most success possible. That's one thing that I wholeheartedly believe in, is I want my children and I want your children and all the children of Smith County to have one step better than I had. I believe in that wholeheartedly. But we are active members of Gornsville First Baptist Church. I teach the 4th and 5th grade on Sunday night, and I believe in the golden rule. I believe in that as much as anything. I'm not going to, you know, just try to take care of my district. Now, I'm going to be a strong voice for the district, but I'm going to be educated about all the things that are going on inside Smith County at every school. And one of the things that I have vowed, if given the opportunity to be the District 3 school board member, is I'm going to take a day off from work, and I'm going to make an appointment with each principal at every school, and I'm going to take a tour of that school, and I'm going to see the condition of it, and I'm going to see the things that need to be done there, because I'm the type of person, I can't worry about building a nice new facility if there's somebody in our school system that their facility's hurting or that they need a little bit of something. So I just want to be educated on everything that's going on inside of Smith County. I want to be a voice for New Middleton and concern for all. Thank y'all very much.
Jeremy Johnson, ladies and gentlemen. All right, don't be shy. Now we have lots of watermelon up here. Please come up and help yourselves. We have our volunteers that are cutting it up for us tonight. All right, next up, it's for County Commission District 2 out of Tanglewood, Greta Kirby.
Hello, everybody. Happy 4th of July. This is a special day for the United States of America, but there's another special day for me because today is my birthday. Today, I officially reached Social Security age, and I didn't get a cut in my benefits. Well, in the last 3 or 4 weeks, I've been doing a lot of campaigning, and I've been going door to door. I want to represent District 2. Now, District 2 entails Tanglewood down to the Trousdale County line, Payton Creek, Monaville, Four-Way Inn area, about halfway down to Pleasant Shade, and then up 85 around Ash Hopper Hollow and all of Turkey Creek. Out of curiosity, I would like to know how many here today are from District 2. Would you raise your hands if you're from District 2? No, some people don't know what district they're in. I have found that from going door to door. In traveling around, I have determined that it's necessary to ask people what's on their mind. What is there about Smith County that you do not like? Are there problems that you see? And I heard the same thing over and over again. Now, school board people, you may want to listen to this, because I heard from teachers and other people employed by the education system here in Smith County, and what I heard over and over again was, my insurance is so high, I can hardly pay it. It takes most of my paycheck to pay for my health insurance. I'm going to have to go to another county to get a job. I hate to have to leave Smith County, but financially it's going to be necessary for me to leave the county to be able to make it. Now that's not a good thing. And I heard this also from law enforcement. Insurance problems. The other thing I heard, and the big elephant in the room, is always the Smith County dump. It's just always there. It is a big problem. It is something that this county is going to have to address, and they're going to have to stop kicking the can down the road. That does not work. What I would like to see too, I wish that this county could sort of up their recycling program. There are so many things that could be recycled that are not being recycled. Plastics are one thing. We can recycle some of them, but there's a lot of them that we can't. And it takes that plastic about 100 years in a landfill to disintegrate. These are big problems. And my pet peeve, and I'll tell you, and I saw it on the way over here on the bypass, a big bag of garbage was laying in the middle of the highway because somebody did not secure that garbage in the back of their truck. It's a pet peeve of mine. We're supposed to keep Smith County beautiful. And by the way, hands up to Keep Smith County Beautiful club that we have here, because they are working hard to try to get the lesson across that we need to keep this land beautiful. I want to represent District 2 in the County Commission. I am educated, I am capable. People that know me will tell you that I stick like glue. I don't give up and I don't back down, and I will be there for the duration. I would appreciate your vote in the upcoming election. Thank you so much.
That's Greta Kirby, ladies and gentlemen. All right, next up for County Commission District 4 out of Rock City, our first candidate is Matthew Inyart.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Matt Inyart. I'm currently serving as a county commissioner here in Rome, Rock City, District 4, and we're seeking a re-election term for this year. It started in May of 2017. I filled a vacancy for the county commission for Rome, and I've made it my duty to try to be educated on everything that is interested in my district. First one is the Union Heights School. My wife teaches there. Her name is Stephanie Jenkins Inyart, and she's a teacher of 3rd grade. I met with Director Smith last year and took a tour with every single school in the district. Now that took all day, but it opened my eyes to see what everybody's problems are in the county, not only just my own in my own district. I serve on many districts, serve on several community organizations, including Southside Lions Club, New Middleton Masonic Lodge, and also very active in my church, Gordonsville United Methodist Church, here in Gordonsville. Appreciate your vote. Thank you very much, and have a happy 4th.
That's Matthew Inyart, ladies and gentlemen. We ask that we please have respect for the people around us. Try to keep your conversations down to a minimum so people can hear the candidates. Next up for County Commission at Rock City District 4, Erica Ebel.
Hi, I'm Erica Ebel. I'm running for County Commissions in District 4, Rock City, Rome. First of all, I want to see who here is from that area. Is anybody here from that area? Talk to me after this. So just tell you a little bit about myself. My husband, Cole, and I moved here about 6 years ago with our 3 children, Colin, Kaysen, and Evangeline. We have a farm on Lock 7. We have a restaurant right here in town, and we're just very involved in the community here. I am actively involved in several different community organizations, such as the River City Ball, the Planning Commission for that, the Smith County Adult Leadership Group, the Youth Soccer Board, just all sorts of things that I just feel are important to this community. So that's a little about me. I just feel like today is the 4th of July, and I'd be remiss if I didn't really go into the reasons why I'm running for county commissions. I joined the military when I was 17 years old, had delayed enlistment, went in at 18, was in the United States Air Force. When I enlisted, I signed an oath pledging allegiance to the Constitution of the United States. The Constitution of the United States states that every individual has the right to liberty. Liberty is freedom plus responsibility. We have freedom in this country, but we have responsibility to protect that freedom. I feel like it's every individual's job to make sure that that freedom is protected. And there's a lot of people who aren't involved in politics for different reasons. They may be just struggling to get by paycheck to paycheck and don't have time for it. They may feel like they can't make a difference, or they may feel like it's not in their wheelhouse, that they don't have the ability for it. Every single one of us has a responsibility to be involved in politics. Our government is a representation of us. I want to be that representation for my district. I want to represent your views, your values. I want to make sure that your tax dollars are spent wisely on things that you value. And I will be open to questions, comments, anytime. I'm right down the road. I'm so willing to communicate with you, and I just really want to represent you in District 4 for county commissions. So talk to me if you haven't talked to me yet. I'll be around. I'll be knocking on your doors still this week, and I just want to thank you all for coming out tonight in this heat.
That's Erica Ebel. All right, County Commissioner for District 7, South Carthage, Stephen Patrick Lish.
Thank you, sir. Woo! Who's ready for some 4th of July? Huh? I know these kiddos has got to be ready for some fireworks. Am I right? So we ain't going to take up all your night tonight. But if you don't know me, I am Stephen Lish. I own a construction business here in Smith County. Most of you know I've probably done something for somebody here. I do have a small business, and it's over here in South Carthage by the red light. We only have one. If you don't know South Carthage, we are a strong little community. Our guys that went before us have done a great job keeping us out of debt and whatnot, but we got to keep that going. One thing is a lot of people in our community do not know what district they live in. And I want to see hands. Who does not even know what district they live in? Don't be shy. You know, there's a lot of people that really don't. And a lot of these commissioners are telling you where they're at. But District 7 is all of South Carthage city limits. It's all the way down the County House Circle, some of Plunkett's Creek, over Polk's Hill. It's all of Bradford Hill. So it's a big pie, all the way back in Dyer's Branch, Hogan's Creek, so it's a big pie. But just to tell you a little bit about myself, I have four children. They keep me hopping. We've been very active in the Boy Scouts. Probably most of you know me and see posts that we do Boy Scouts here in Smith County. We keep that very live. It's growing young men to come back to our community. And one thing got me to running for commissioner. No one asked me to. It was on my heart, and it wasn't that I thought anybody was doing bad. It's just that I seen some of our elderly have done it and over and over and over, and it finally got to the point where I know a few of them's going to retire, and it's time for our generation to step up. And one thing you've seen, as I've seen, and as a few of the ladies have spoke about, but is our community, and Mr. Lee talked about, we don't have trades, but in Smith County we're having a lot of our youth to go off, get a college degree, but they don't come back. And that's not really the commissioner's fault or the mayor's fault, whatnot, but I do think that we need to be active in our communities. Why is this? What can we do to help bring back the lawyers, the doctors again? The teachers are very important. I know you're going to have a lot of the school board talking about the teachers' issue if they show up tonight. But that's just some of the things that I want to see. You know, Smith County, I hear, as I'm going around shaking hands, I hear a lot of people say, we don't want to grow. Don't be afraid of growth in Smith County. We have the hills, the beautiful hills that people love. We have the interstate that'll help us grow, but the hills ain't going to let us go too far like Mount Juliet, so don't worry about that. But we do have to have some things that Mr. Nesbitt and the commission has set forth already that we need to continue to let it grow, to bring jobs in so that when your children go off to college, they can get that degree and they can come back and support their families here and be thriving as we all have. But once again, I'm Stephen Lish, and I'm District 7, and that is the South Carthage and River Point areas. So I appreciate you vote. I'm going to be around this week, so if you have any questions, just holler at me. I'd love to talk to you. Who here is from District 7? Have several. Okay. All right. Well, thank y'all very much. Y'all enjoy the 4th.
That's Stephen Patrick Lish. All right, the next category, we're into the Smith County offices. Next up is Register of Deeds, and first up will be Peggy Massey.
Thank you. My name is Peggy Lancaster Massey, and a little bit about myself. I'm married to Floyd Massey, and we've been married for 29 years. We have 3 children, Caitlin and her husband, Jared Crosland, Julia and her husband, J.D., and Will Massey, and we have a grandson, David. What do I stand for? If you have not seen the back of my card, that's what I stand for. First and foremost is faith. Faith is what gets us through the day. And on the back, you will see words. The one that stands out to me is dedicated. I am dedicated to whatever I do. I've been in Smith County Board of Education for 11 years. My husband and I have been out for the last 3 months plus in this hot weather, knocking on doors and campaigning. And it has been a blessing. I've got to meet a lot of people, and I've got to hear more stories about my brothers and my family. I would name all my brothers and sisters, but that would take up all my time. So you can just see those in the paper this week. And I am honest, and I'm trustworthy, and what would I bring to the office is just that. I will bring the honesty, integrity, and you'll just see a friendly atmosphere. And I would humbly ask for your vote for the Smith County Register of Deeds. Now y'all get some water and cool off and listen to the rest of them.
That's Peggy Massey. Next up for Register of Deeds is Jerry Lynn Vaden Malone.
Good evening. Welcome to the fair and happy 4th of July. My name is Jerry Lynn Vaden Malone, and I'm running for re-election as your Smith County Register of Deeds. I hope y'all don't mind, but I have my notes. Article 7 of our state constitution states that the qualified voters of each county shall elect terms of 4 years, a register. The office of the Register of Deeds is administrative. The holder of the office is charged with keeping accurate records of property transfers, mortgages, liens, and other documents that can be documented by state laws, statutes. It also collects taxes and fees established by state law. We are the record keepers. The thing about the office is there are laws that mandate everything that we do. To work in it successfully, you have to know some type of real estate. You have to interpret the documents, and you have to operate the database. The records need to be accurate and recorded in a timely manner. Just like any company, you got to have a leader at the top, someone who understands all the aspects of the office. I spend my time working with title attorneys, bankers, and leaders in the community. The documents we deal with are much more complex today than they were in the 80s and 90s. Unlike most political elections, the campaign for this position very much has to be qualifications over form. This is admittedly a non-glamorous position. This race can't be about who has the flashiest billboards, yard signs, or websites. It has to be about the ability to perform the job on day one. This position is too important, with the potential to impact too many people, to trust to anyone who cannot check the appropriate experience boxes. At this time, I would like to thank each of you for allowing me to serve as your Smith County Register of Deeds, and I would like to humbly ask for your vote on August the 2nd for re-election of Smith County Register of Deeds, Jerry Lynn Baden Malone. Thank you. Sorry.
That was Jerry Lynn Baden Malone. Our next category is for County Sheriff, and here comes Mr. Steve Hopper.
Good evening, everybody. Burning up. About y'all. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Steve Hopper, and it's been an honor and a privilege to serve you as your sheriff for almost the past 8 years now. And I hope I've proven myself to you over those years. I hope we've done a good job for you. We have tried. The motto at my office, and all of my people will tell you, all I ask of them is to do your job and do the right thing. Everything else will fall in place. Enforce the laws of the state, that's doing your job. It all falls in place. A little bit about me. I've served in law enforcement for 23 years. I started out at the Carthage Police Department and worked my way up through the ranks, made chief, and held that till getting elected to sheriff in 2010. I also been with the Smith County Rescue Squad, Central District Fire Department, a paramedic at the Smith County Ambulance Service, and most of my adult life has been dedicated to service to the citizens of this county, and that's what I want to keep doing if y'all will allow me to. A little bit about our office. We moved into the new jail and courthouse facility in 2010, and we passed the state certification on the first pass with no deficiencies, and we've maintained that ever since. Every year since then, every inspection has been no deficiencies with our office. Comptroller's audits are showing that we have no deficiencies in our office. Every year, and I told our county commissioners when I first took office, if I don't need the money, I'm not going to spend it. And every year we turn money back into the county that we don't spend. And that's just a little part of my job. I think we've been good stewards of your taxpayer money, and try to serve and protect and make this the greatest county to live in. And if you'll allow me to, I'd ask you for your vote as humbly as I know how. Thank you very much.
Sheriff Steve Hopper. Our next category is for the office of Mayor of South Carthage. We have 3 candidates here tonight, and the first candidate you'll hear from is Hollis Mullinax. Here he comes. Once again, don't be shy, ladies and gentlemen. We got plenty of watermelon up here. And here's your first candidate for South Carthage Mayor, Hollis Mullinax.
Thank you, Jim. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the great city of South Carthage. I'm Hollis Mullinax. I've been on the city council for 11 years. I'm currently your vice mayor. And if y'all will look right back behind me, this ladder truck that we just purchased lately, that lowers the ISO rating from an 8 to a 6. And that lowers all of the South Carthage homeowners insurance. So we're proud of that. I'm chairman of the police committee. I'm also on the planning commission, the street commission. We have paved 2 streets here lately. We've kind of been handicapped about doing paving over having the sewer note to pay off. This coming January, we clear that out, and we'll have money to do more on the streets. Excuse me. No. I plan to and if y'all seeing you about letting me to be the mayor of South Carthage, I appreciate you vote on August the 2nd. And if you elect me as your mayor, we'll get it done. Thank you.
That's Hollis Mullinax. Our next candidate for the mayor of South Carthage is Timothy Grissom.
Hello, everyone. My name is Timothy Grissom. I've decided to do this candidate running for this office on the terms that several friends got together and we seen some things that we thought could be changed in the town, some things that could be benefited and improved upon, and we felt like that if we all worked together, we could build the town a little bit more than what it has been doing over the last few years. We seem to feel like that the town is kind of in a point that it's dying away instead of growing. We've lost a lot of businesses. I've been here 50 years, and I can remember when we used to have a dairy dip over here in South Carthage. So we need some stores, we need some businesses. Wouldn't hurt if we had a restaurant to come into the town to aid the people of South Carthage. Yes, the roads do need improvement, and from all the information I have been getting, there is money that is soon going to be available maybe to turn over and work on some roads and improve them so that we can do a little infrastructure to build it up and improve it. And if there's any questions, I would be great to answer them any way I can. Something you want to discuss, please contact me. I would be willing to talk to you about it any way we can. Hopefully that we can learn what needs to be changed in the town to help the people of the town. Thank you.
Timothy Grissom, ladies and gentlemen. Our third candidate for mayor of South Carthage is Barney Gann.
Hi, folks. I am Barney Gann. I'm running for mayor of South Carthage. I've been a resident of this community for over 50 years. I presently own B&G Auto for the past 30 years. I owned Carthage Best Way Groceries, co-owned for 20 years. So I have quite a bit of business experience. I'm past candidate, not candidate, but council member. Well, I don't know what all. But anyway, I'd like to thank y'all for listening to me and appreciate y'all coming out tonight.
Barney Gann, ladies and gentlemen. Our next category is for mayor of Smith County. We have 4 candidates here tonight, and the first name we drew was Bill Woodard.
Well, folks, thank you very much. For those of you that may not know who I am, I'm Billy Woodard. I currently am at the Chamber of Commerce, but I'm running for mayor of Smith County. And this may be one of the most seminal or important elections that we have in our county in several years because of the choices that you have to make. We have some things that we're facing that I think are going to be very important for us to make the right decision on, from schools all the way through to a lot of the infrastructure that we have. $53 million, that's the budget that Smith County has. A lot of people don't realize that it's that size. 850, that's the number of people that get a check that has Smith County stamped at the top of it. $30 million, that's the number that they place on the value of what we have of assets here in Smith County. So it's not a job to take lightly when you elect somebody to be a mayor. They've got a lot of things that they have to take care of and be responsible for. Smith County is on a trajectory, I think, toward better times than even now. If you look at our surrounding counties, every county that touches us, they pay a fee to get rid of their trash and garbage. Smith County people don't do that. None of our tax dollars go into the landfill. Not one dime goes into the landfill. If you look at our debt, we're at about $18 million right now. That debt's been shrinking for the last 10 years, and it's continuing to shrink. We're paying our debt down. We repealed the $50 wheel tax. We took that off of the people, and now we don't have that wheel tax anymore. There's a referendum coming up here in November that 3/4 cent sales tax is going to come off. If you vote to do that or keep it on, it'll be your decision. There's a lot of things happening in Smith County that are really good. We have been working for 9 years to build a industrial park addition to what we have. And we're going to have, with the grants, we got $141 million in grants. We're going to add some more money to that from the county. And we are going to build 3 or 4 pads for businesses to come into the county and add to the jobs that we have. We're graduating about 200 kids out of the high schools every year. Of those 200 kids, a lot of them are leaving. Our population is 20,000 people, and it's staying roughly level. So what's happening? If we're graduating that many, they're going out and they're getting a job somewhere else. 48% of our people in the county work in county. 52% go out of the county to find a job. So what we've got to do is, when we build those plants and we invite them in here, we've got to get a group of people in here that's going to offer high-paying, maybe high-tech jobs to give them the kind of money that they deserve for the education that they're getting so that they don't have to leave Smith County. Folks, Smith County is a great place to live. It's a great place to be. And I just hope that you'll allow me just one more chance to be involved in what's going on around here, because I think it's a great place.
Bill Woodard, ladies and gentlemen. Our next candidate for the office of Smith County Mayor is Mark Jones.
Thank you. I brought my whole family. Happy Independence Day, everybody. It's great to see this many people out and just that care about our community. Of course, George Washington's here too. Thank you. But like he said, I'm Mark Jones. I'm currently a county commissioner. I am a state trooper as well. I've been in law enforcement for 21 years. I own a business. I was born in business, lumber business, and I expanded that into investment properties and storage facilities, and I currently still do that. And as Bill said, we are growing, and we've got to be aware of that. We can't close our eyes and pretend like it's not coming. We're building, our building permits are going out at rates that we've never seen before. I've talked to our state and our federal representatives already about several things, one being infrastructure. The industrial expansion that Bill was talking about, we are going forward with that as a county. I think it's a good thing, and we will be building the pad soon as we can close everything and start on the groundwork. One problem that we have with this is it seems that we've overlooked, except for the people that I've talked with in Nashville, and the infrastructure for Gordonsville. The traffic situation is already ridiculous. We're going to have to fix this. We're working on that solution. We need more great jobs here, not just jobs, but careers, things that'll bring our people home that that are traveling out of the county and still bring our young people back. Our landfill is a huge situation that we continue to feed. We've got to slow down the intake of our trash. We've got to at least raise our rates for the outside counties that are bringing them in. We can't continue to feed this monster that we've created. We've got to slow it down. If not, we'll have the problem of where to put our trash soon. But I've been a lifelong Macon and Smith County, and I'll give that to some of the guys that's brought that to my attention. I was born and raised at the county line. I lived at Defeated to Lake when I was a young boy, and I've lived in Defeated my entire adult life. But I'm not, of course, going to tell you that I was raised in Carthage. To me, there's no south or north side of this county. We're all the same. And somebody in this position needs to treat everyone the same and fight for everybody, and that's what I'll do. If I get the opportunity to be the mayor here, I'm not looking for a career in politics. I'm going to bring what I've learned in my career, my successful businesses, and the government experience that I've had, and we're going to, any good old boy system will not exist with me. We're going to do it the right way. We're not going to do it at all. Thank you for your time. Mark Jones.
Mark Jones, ladies and gentlemen. Again, please don't be shy. We have plenty of watermelon left over up here. If you want some watermelon, please come and get some. Our next candidate for the position of mayor of Smith County, is Jeff Mason.
Thanks, sir. Good to see you. Good evening. What a great place to be. We celebrate 242 years of freedom here in the greatest county in the world. It's my honor to get to see you tonight. I'm glad you came out and bared this heat for this tonight. It's important that we do talk and you guys get to know us. I'll start off by saying my name is Jeff Mason. I want to be your next mayor. I have been saying Jeff since my whole adult life, but a lot of people have said, I didn't know you was Jeff, you were Jeffrey. Well, that was as a young man, I was Jeffrey. I was in Jeffrey Scott if I was in trouble. And then I was nicknamed Minner at a very young age, so you could call me Jeff, Jeffrey, Jeffrey Scott, or Minner. Born and raised South Carthage, spent my time there. My mom and dad are Brenda and the late Jackie Mason. Grandparents were John and Geneva Mason of Bowlings Branch and Bill and Geneva Hawkins of South Carthage. My wife is Miss Amanda Mason. She's an educator at Gornsville High School. We have 3 children. Maggie, Lou, and Jack, it's the little man you see running around here tonight. In January, I wasn't running for county mayor. Had a group of friends come to me, reach out. Godly men kept reaching out to me, and I began praying. And the Lord has led me down this path. That doesn't mean I'm going to win, but I'll either win or He'll teach me a lesson about the next chapter. My sole focus is to grow this county in the right way, grow our tax base, not our tax rates. I want to keep our rates low because that's important to a lot of people in our county. We do that by our new industrial park that Mayor Nesbitt and the county commissions is bringing in. We do that with high-pay, high-tech jobs. I've been in manufacturing my whole career. I've been a tool and die maker by trade, and for the last 12 years I've worked in manufacturing sales. I have turned wrenches, and I have called on and met with and presented to vice presidents of engineering for domestic and international automotive companies. I know what kind of jobs we need. I know the companies that need to come here. I'll be the man that you need looking for those companies. We also can grow our base by taking advantage of our local small businesses. We have the opportunity on the Gornsville interchange area for good modern growth, but we also have some beautiful little downtowns and some tourist events that we can bring here and bring our money. We get them to come here, spend their money, and go home. That's my focus, again, is to grow our base, not our rates. If you're a supporter, thank you. If you're not, find me at my booth or in the crowd, let's talk. I ask you humbly for your vote, and thank you.
That was Jeff Mason. And our final candidate for Smith County Mayor is Ricky Slack.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Smith County Fair. I'm an executive board member for the Smith County Fair. I've done it since the fair began. We've worked really hard to put this together. You know, running for county mayor is a big job. I've worked in county government since I was 18 years old. I've volunteered for Smith County since I was 18 years old. I serve on the county fire department. I serve as chief of the South Carthage Fire Department. I used to be director of Smith County EMS and 911, and I used to be on the Smith County Rescue Squad. I'm currently a paramedic for Sumner County EMS. You know, this is my home. I was born and raised here. And you know, our times are tough on people. You know, our tax dollars are tight. But you know, one thing that I believe in, if the man's going to be mayor, he needs to know what's going on. I've been lucky. We've pushed this industrial park for the last 4 or 5 years. I've been over there with Mayor Nesbitt taking people around on that property, TVA helicopters landing and things, and my former job, it allowed me to be able to do that as EMS director. So this industrial park coming in is one very important thing. It's going to bring money, it's going to bring jobs, but to me, this new industrial park is going to let our people get home to the most important thing there is. I've worked 24 hours all my life and 48 off mostly. And one thing I couldn't do sometimes was be there with my family, and that's very important to me. But I tell you, the man that takes this job doesn't need to become complacent. Excuse me. The person that takes this job, I believe in term limits. I think you can get in a job and you can stay in a job too long. You can get complacent. And I can tell you this, if I am elected as your county mayor, I'll do 4 years, I'll run for 4 more, and then I'm out the door. Man gave me some advice tonight. He said, Rick, be a common man with a common plan. Another guy gave me some advice. He said, Ricky, he said, everybody ain't always going to like you. You're going to make somebody mad, and they're always going to be after you. And that's the truth. But you got to have broad, strong shoulders to do this job. And your next county mayor needs to be a person that can do that. He needs to be a person that has history in county government, because you cannot go in this job without an agenda. You better have an agenda in mind of what you're going to change and what you're going to make better. We have folks here that are very complacent in jobs that need just a little uplifting. They need moving forward because we've been there so long. But I'm going to get off here. Kobe's looking at his phone. I must be getting close. But thank y'all for coming to the fair. I appreciate your vote and support. I love Smith County. And if I don't win, the man that's the mayor, the first week he's in office, I'm going to walk in there and I'm going to share some of my ideas. I have an idea to save the county citizens $500,000 a year total, by just doing a little bit of paperwork and a little bit of training and making some changes with our county fire service for the better. Everything is there. We just got to do it to lower our ISO rating, and we'll be able to save people about $100 to $150 a year on their homeowners insurance. But that, you got to look over the whole thing of $500,000. That's $500,000 that our constituents will save. But thank you. Please vote for me. And as somebody told me to say tonight, go Vols is what they told me.
That was Ricky Slack, ladies and gentlemen. Our next category is State House Representatives, 40th District. We have two candidates here tonight. Our first candidate that we drew is Chad Williams.
Hello everyone, I'm Chad Williams. I'm running for state representative in the 40th District. For those that don't know, 40th District here in the State House, that's Smith County, Trousdale, and a portion of DeKalb and Sumner counties. My main campaign platform you've heard tonight from all these other local offices, especially of our county mayors and our county commissioners. And that's here in Smith County, our infrastructure and our public education system. What we're looking at here across this district, not only that, but specifically here in Smith County to the residents and the voters here, is the growth and what you're seeing with all the what's happening with Gornsville and Carthage and the people that's moving in here and the problems we have with traffic and growing in new businesses. The state legislature is heavily involved with working in these local offices to making sure we're well provided for here. With public education, I've toured most of the schools in the district, and the teachers keep on giving me the same message. They need to be more power back to our local teachers and our local governments so they can have the knowledge they need and the power they need to be able to teach. The state's too involved. We have a testing system that doesn't work, and it needs to be changed. We need a strong reform in public education system. I'm from Smith County. I have 5 generations of family that's lived here that we can trace, and my family well shown out tonight, and just campaigning here at the fair this week has been a blessing. I'm involved with the Lions Club and the Masonic Lodge here. I own a business in Lebanon Antique Mall, and my motivation is wanting to be involved with the changes that's happening here in the future. We've got a lot going on, and if we have the right leadership, we can change and develop in the right direction. And I want to be there to make sure the job's done right. Thank you for your time. Be sure you go vote. Early voting begins July 13th, goes through the 28th. Election day is August 2nd. Chad Williams, I'm running for state representative. I'll be here at the fair all week. Look forward to meeting you. Thank you.
It's Chad Williams. Our second candidate for 40th District State House Representatives is Terry Lynn Weaver.
Thank you. Thank you. George and I just came from Hartsville, where they had celebrated the 4th of July, so thus the costume. It is an honor to be here tonight to speak before you on July 4th. Our Constitution, though written within its pages, are our liberties and our rights, but it is the citizen, only the citizen, that can maintain and guarantee those freedoms. And so I'm very grateful that you're here tonight to listen to the various candidates, what they stand for and what they bring to the table. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother. I own a home. I pay property taxes. I own a small business. And together with my husband of 39 years, we love this community, we love its people, we love its children, we love its schools, and we love everything about the 40th District. That's why I put myself into the position to run for public service. It's something that I take very seriously. As your state representative and under my watch, we in the state of Tennessee have seen the greatest growth. We have cut taxes $572 million, ladies and gentlemen. We are making Tennessee such a hot place to live. That's why we have so much growth. People want to live here because they keep more money in their pocketbooks. And that's what I do for you down at the state. I push back big government. I make sure that we don't raise taxes because, again, tax cuts work. And spending less works as well. You know, I have the experience, I have the influence to go down there in the next general legislative session to fight for you, to continue to carry your heart issues. And I know those heart issues because I'm amongst you in all the communities and all the events. I take part. Touring my schools, talking to the teachers, going into those classrooms. I am available and I am accessible. And that is why, as a republic, as a representation, I humbly ask for you to allow me to continue being your voice in the State House. It's an honor and a privilege to do what I do. And again, I ask for your vote. Early voting starts July 13th. And I will continue to work hard for you because that's what I do, and I thank you so much. God bless you.
That was Terry Lynn Weaver. Our next category is State Senate, 17th District. We have 2 candidates here tonight, and the first candidate is Mary Alice Carfee.
Starting to cool off out here now, isn't it? I don't see as many fans as I did before. I'm Mary Alice Carfee. I'm born and raised in this district. My grandparents were Pete and Evelyn Watts. I grew up over in Gordonsville on Watts Angus Farm. And I've been lucky enough to have a family that showed me the value of hard work. My grandparents, they started their life together with very little. My grandfather started a solo paint contracting, and he worked his way up to owning 2 successful businesses, Watts Angus Farm and Watts Construction Company. My parents, Don and Phyllis Eckel, my daddy is a retired full-time National Guard. My mom is a retired school teacher who taught in this area for many years. They are some of the hardest working people that I know, and they really taught me by example how to be good to other people. I graduated Smith County High School and went to MTSU and got my criminal justice degree, and then went to the Nashville School of Law and became an attorney. I run a solo practice in Wilson County, where I live now, and in my law practice, I see people every day that are trying to reach the same goals, but they have differing opinions. And it's my job to help them figure out how to work together and get things done that works for everybody. That's what our legislators need to do. They need to work together and figure out how to help the families in our state. My daddy and my husband are both Republicans, and it makes for some interesting Sunday dinner conversation where sometimes I'm griping about the issues in our state that we need help with. And we all agree that no matter whether something is a Democrat idea or a Republican idea, if it's a good idea, we need to work together and figure out how to make it work for our state and how to help the families here. My husband, this past fall, was diagnosed with cancer. So we found out firsthand how important it is to have health care insurance, affordable health care insurance. If we weren't covered by insurance, the doctors would not have been required to treat him, and he would not be cancer-free like he is today. More recently, my dad experienced how essential it is to have a local hospital in the community. And Riverview did a fantastic job with him from the time they wheeled him into the emergency room until he left about a week later. And I was extremely impressed by everybody that we came in contact with there. The main issues that need help in this state that we need to work on are health care, jobs that pay a living wage, because I run into people every day that work a full-time job and they still have to apply for assistance just to feed their families. That's not okay. That has to change. And if we educate our kids, if every child, no matter their zip code, gets access to a quality public education, then we'll bring businesses to the area that will pay decent wages and better benefits. So I ask for your help in this election. I want to change things. I want to be the state senator that works for this area and makes our state better. I'm Mary Alice Carfee, and I ask for your vote. Thank you.
That was Mary Alice Carfee. Our second candidate for State Senate, 17th District, is Mark Pody.
Thank you all. My name is Mark Pody. I'm your state senator. A couple things about me. One of the things that I've done is I sponsored a bill. If you are a fireman, a volunteer fireman, you have helped us, you give your time, you give your effort, and so many times you do it at your own expense. I said at least we can do is give you your own license plate. So every year you should get a free license plate. Another thing that I'm working on is for law enforcement. I'm working on something that says if you've served 25 years in the TCRS retirement program, you should have the option to retire. But let me tell you who I am. I'm not afraid to stand on my biblical values and to support those and stand up for those. That includes traditional marriage between a man and a woman. I'm not afraid to stand up and say there's life in the womb, and I'm going to do everything I can to protect that life. I believe in the Constitution, and when it says the Second Amendment that our right to bear arms does not mean that we can wear a T-shirt. It means that we should have any kind of gun that we have, that we want, and we should not let the federal government or state government count the number of bullets that we buy. Ladies and gentlemen, I do stand on these kind of principles. My name is Mark Pody, and I'm asking for your vote. Thank you very much.
That was Mark Pody, ladies and gentlemen. Our last category is U.S. Congress House of Representatives. We have 2 candidates here. Our first candidate is Laverne U-Turn Laverne Vivio. Did I pronounce that right? All right, first try.
Thank you very much, and I do appreciate you didn't put me on the Democrat side this time. I'm just saying, but that's okay. I'm a Republican. The reason for the name, guys, Laverne U-Turn Laverne Vivio. I was a traffic reporter in Nashville, Tennessee for 28 years, and they have allowed me to include my catchy little nickname on the ballot because about 3/4 of the district know me as U-Turn. Now, I'm not just a radio clown. I spent my entire broadcast career in the news environment. I also worked for about 1.5 years for Glenn Beck. I know Washington up one side and down the other. I've had a backstage pass to the halls of government, and I know how Washington works and why it doesn't. Now, also, my husband and I ran a commercial roofing company for 20 years. I've raised 4 boys, all grown, fine young men, independent, that have gone off and don't live in my basement. I've taught school. I've driven a school bus. Guys, I'm one of you. I know what you're going through. You know, we were talking about health care. My husband has a heart problem. We shut our business down because of that health problem. About the same time that my career in traffic ended, and because I'd been there 28 years, I got a really nice severance package. I mean, in the $20,000 range. But every penny of that had to go to pay COBRA because I had a husband that was a heart patient. So we had to maintain our insurance. I know what you're going through. I'm one of you. I have a grandchild that's going to be 2 years old. It's playing in my creek tonight. And I'm not there with him because I know this matters more, because I want to leave a country for him that is not going to strap him with ungodly debt. It is immoral what we are leaving for our grandchildren, you guys. It is immoral what we're leaving for our grandchildren. And I want to ask you, you know, we've said a lot about the independence of this nation. How many of us would have the guts to sign on the bottom of that document now and declare our lives, our liberty, and our sacred honor, knowing that the people that live next door to you could turn you into the king and that would be all? I mean, how many of us have enough guts to stand up for the things we truly believe in? Guys, the House of Representatives is your house. It's not about congressmen. It's not about congresswomen. It is your seat. This is the seat that Diane Black has held for the last 7 years, I guess, but it is your house. It is your seat. We have got to remind the elected officials that they're representatives. They're not congressmen. They're not congresswomen. That's what I want to bring to this office, is remind everybody that we're representatives. If you guys honor me with this, I also want to be known to the kids. And when we're not in session, I want them to know, hey, there's Laverne, our representative, because I want to come into the schools. I want to teach them the history and tell them the stories that's been excluded from our curriculum. I want to tell them about the signers of the Declaration of Independence. Our kids know way too little about the good of who we are, and all they know is the bad and the ugly. Folks, I'm different. I'm one of you. I work in ministry now. I promise you, you will see me. One of the reasons I'm here, I live in Robeson County. One of the reasons I'm here is I want to reinforce the understanding that you will see me, whether I live next door to you or not, if you send me to Washington to have the honor of representing you, and I will only do it for a max of 10 years. I'm a term limit person. Please go to uturnforcongress.com. You can link me from there and send me an email if you have any questions. But get to know us all. Do your own homework and decide who the person that will represent you, that knows you, needs to go to Washington. God bless you.
That was Laverne U-Turn Laverne Vivio. And our second candidate for U.S. Congress House of Representatives, John Rose.
Thank you. I am John Rose, and I have a farm just a few miles south from here in the Lancaster community, and I'm running for Congress to represent the 713,928 people of the 6th District of Tennessee. Now, as you already can gather by hearing that I have a farm over in the Lancaster community, which is a pioneer farm, and I see Bill Woodard standing over there. Bill and I trace our heritage back to the same family, the Lancaster family. And so it is great to be here on the banks of the Caney Fork River, in the beautiful foothills of the Cumberland Mountains, in this community that we call Smith County, celebrating the birthday of this great country. And isn't it great to be free and alive in Tennessee? Now, I brought my little boy Guy up here with me, and my wife Chelsea is somewhere out here in the crowd. She's just over there. And I point them out, and I brought Guy up with me because this is the reason that I'm running for Congress. You see, Guy, as Chelsea and I were contemplating starting a family, we came to a harsh conclusion, the conclusion that for the first time in American history, we're at risk of leaving this country worse off to our children than our parents left it to us. Now, I don't know how you all were brought up, but I think probably the same way I was, and that is that we're supposed to take the blessings that God gives us and use those to make things better and to make things better for the next generation. So I'm running for Congress because I want to make sure that the country that we leave to Guy and to your children and your grandchildren is better than the country that our parents left to us. Now, how do we do that? I think the answer is that we need to take Tennessee values to Washington and get Washington out of Tennessee. And so I ask for your vote on August 2nd and in early voting on July 13th through the 28th. And together we'll take those Tennessee values to Washington, and we'll get Washington out of our business here in Tennessee. And I believe that helping our president, Donald Trump, implement a conservative vision for America that includes protecting the Second Amendment, defending life, making sure that we enforce our immigration laws, that we build a wall along our southern border to protect our country, that we roll back the regulations that stifle small business and industry right here in our communities, and that we make sure that we keep taxes low and we keep our resources right here in Tennessee where we can apply them as best needed. Those are the answers. Those are the Tennessee values that will help us make this country better for Guy and for all of your children and grandchildren. So I ask for your vote, and thank you for the opportunity. What a great place to be here at the Smith County Fair tonight. Thank you.
That's John Rose, ladies and gentlemen. And that concludes all our candidates tonight. And before we wrap up, I have two thoughts I just want to share with you all tonight. By the way, my name is Jim West. I'm not running for anything, so don't look for me on the ballot. I'm not there. But we heard an awful lot tonight about change and growth. And one of the candidates said we can't be afraid of change. And I agree with that. If we're an organism, a community is a living organism. And when living organisms stop growing, they begin to die. I don't know if you know who Ray Kroc is, but he's the founder of McDonald's, and he had a saying, never get ripe, because once you get ripe, you start to rot. You have to keep growing. Change is inevitable, and we need the right people to implement the right changes that are needed for this county, and you should take that into consideration when you make your vote on August 2nd. Do not be afraid of change. It's inevitable. It is inevitable. And the second thing I wanted to leave you with is vote. Vote. Not only is it a right, not only is it a responsibility, it is a privilege. You are part of the process. If you remove yourself, then the process can't work the way it needs to work. There have been several referendums and things on the ballot over the last several election cycles that there was one issue that only passed by 5 votes. Your vote does make a difference. Get out there and vote. The vote is on August 2nd. Early voting starts the 13th and runs through the 28th. So please get out there and vote. It's what makes America great. Thank you very much.
This video has been brought to you by these fine sponsors.